Finally, Smeg have built a coffee machine that looks beautiful and delivers excellent espresso. But is it worth it? Well, stick around to the end to hear my overall thoughts, but it's Smegging brilliant, so let's check it out. G'day mate, my name's Ryan, your coffee coach, and today I want to take a deep dive into the Smeg's Minipro espresso machine that's just been released in Europe and should be out later on in the year or early 2025 in the rest of the countries around the world. Smeg announced in June that they were releasing a whole new range of espresso machines, starting with Minipro and its companion grinder. And I got this machine from Smeg to do this review. But these thoughts are my own, and I'm going to tell you what I love and what I dislike about the machine, just as I would any other review. All you got to do is tap that like and subscribe button and comment on why this machine would be perfect in your home. And I mean genuinely perfect, because this is a beautiful machine. It should afford to go to someone who really, really wants it, not just someone who has 3 or 4 machines and wants a collection. So hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment below. You're a Smegging legend. Thanks a lot. Now, Smeg are known for their beautiful design aesthetic, and this is no exception. This is absolutely stunning. I think it's so gorgeous. It's slim, it's streamlined, it's got that classic Italian espresso machine look at the front here, but then they've gone and added colors to it. So they've got it in a white and a black, and this one, which is a emerald green. And although I don't really think this is an emerald, it's probably more of a mint. It's still a lovely matte color. I love the design. I love the brushed aluminium on the front here. And they've got this beautiful, elegant LCD display here, which allows you to get into all the settings and configure the machine, change the temperatures and things like that. I'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But overall, the design aesthetic, if you love Smeg and you already have Smeg appliances, you will absolutely die for this machine in your home. But I do hope they also bring out some of the other colors, because I love the fantastic red, the yellow. And imagine this machine in one of the ranges like the Divina Cucina styles, which is absolutely gorgeous. Imagine that. I really hope they do something like that in the future. But this machine isn't just sexy, it is actually very solid. I mean, everything about it is that traditional Italian style with your E61 style group head, your mechanical lever here, a 58mm portafilter, this is chrome plated brass, and you also have your steam wand on the side here. You have everything in a compact machine. And yes, and it comes with a whole bunch of accessories, which are again really solid. The tamper, that is amazing. Like if you compare it to the ones that come out of Breville, the Breville I think are aluminium and plastic. This is solid chrome, probably brass plated, stainless steel milk jug. Very, very nice. And this is one that you'll be able to get really nice latte art with, because the steam tip isn't just that doinky little squidge. This is Smegging awesome. Now, a couple of things to understand about the E61 style group head is that it can get a bit hot. It's got a warning there, so just remember that. You don't want to be reaching across it. But it's a triple thermoblock. So unlike a lot of E61 heat exchange boilers, which allow you to do milk and espresso at the same time, this one you have to switch it between, which is fine, and that's not going to be problematic. But the great thing about having a triple thermoblock is how fast this heats up, because you've got one thermoblock that's heating up the steam, one that's heating up the espresso extraction boiler, and then one dedicated to the group head, which means that it heats up super fast. And if you see, I turn it on here at the back, you watch, I've timed this, it actually takes under 3 minutes to be ready to go, and then about 7 minutes when it's really hot, and that's when you're going to make that exceptional coffee. But sometimes you might be in a rush and you just don't care if it's a little bit under extracted and you've got 3 minutes, well then it's going to be there for you in that. But even so, you won't have to wait 30 to 40 minutes like you would do on a heat exchange machine to get to the temperature ready for you to make coffee. This is ready super quick, and I love that. Smegging awesome. It also comes with 4 baskets, a single and a double in both the pre-ground coffee and the regular coffee baskets. But honestly, if you're buying this machine, buy the grinder with it as well. I mean, what the Smeg, guys? Do you want good coffee, or did you buy this machine just to look good in your home? So now you can see we're almost at temp here, and the lights will stop flashing when it reaches its time and it's ready to go. And then you can either turn straight on, do your steam, your milk, or you can wait a little bit longer and get your espresso machine up. The LCD display is actually really handy. You can access it, there you go, you can access it by holding the middle button, and you can get into the menu settings. So you can turn your language to the language that you prefer, the degrees or Fahrenheit. You can set the temperature of your coffee extraction. That's a bit advanced, but it might be there useful for you. If you don't know what pre-infusion does, it allows you to wet your coffee bed without applying any pressure so that the coffee granules expand and create a more even surface so that when you start applying that pressure, you get a much more even extraction and your coffee tastes better. On a high level, that's what pre-infusion does, but as you grow and learn about pre-infusion, you'll want to start playing with that. Also, you can access the steam one, and the steam one has 3 settings, sort of low, a medium, and a high intensity, 1, 2, and 3. However, I would say that the high intensity isn't that high, and it does take a little while for the milk to be heated. So if you're doing 3 or more coffees, just expect it's gonna be a little bit on the slow side. Upside of that is that your milk is super silky and easy to control. Sometimes when coffee machines are too powerful, it can be out of control and you'll just destroy your milk. So having that control, that little bit more of a gentle steam one, means that your milk is just silky, silky smooth and great for latte art, which I'll show you in a second. It also has a standby function, which just means it times out after 10, 30 or 60 minutes. Anyway, it heats up so fast from scratch that the standby mode isn't that needed, but it's good to have it, I guess, in case you forget to turn it off. Other than that, you can turn off the whole steam one if you don't need it and just use the espresso, which just saves on power and time as well, because obviously it needs to heat up a lot more to get the steam ready. But also the last thing is just your descaler and the water hardness, which are things which you should test your water hardness so that you know and set it in here correctly. Otherwise you're going to be descaling too often, or worse, not often enough. And the descale mode is in the menu setting and it's very easy. You also use this middle button to switch between water and steam. So when you want to turn it over, you actually use this to get your water out. But most of the time you'll be using that for steam and using your kettle, but it's there as an option anyway. So I'm going to make a coffee on it now. I want to point out there's a manometer here, a pressure gauge here, and it actually has pressure that goes up to 15 bars, even though you only need 9 bars to make your coffee really, really sweet. However, some of the other machines and the lower end machines won't have enough pressure when you need to grind fine enough to really capture all the oils and squeeze them out. They choke and they can't make any coffee come out at all. At least with this machine, it goes up above your 9 bars so that even if you've ground your coffee a little bit finer, and I like to grind it a little bit finer and just squeeze a bit more out, you'll see it'll probably go up around that 11 bars. And that means even if your coffee is a little bit too finely ground, you'll still get a coffee coming out. Might be a little bitter, might be a little burnt, but that's okay, because sometimes in the morning you don't want to waste a whole shot and remake it and you just want a coffee, and then that's at least allowing you to get some coffee out. But let's make a coffee on it first and let's show you how easy it is to do the latte art. Okay, now we're going to make a coffee on it. I'm going to do some latte art on it. Now this tamper is fantastic. It is a fraction small there. I just want it to be like a 1/2 mil wider, but that is still a great tamper. And the other thing with the portafilter is it just gets a little bit hot here, so just be careful. I think it's the same with any espresso machine. When you have an E61 group head, it's exposed. There's a lot of heating going in there, so just be careful and be aware of that. Now I'm going to use this cup to do the latte art, just because I prefer it to pour into than this one. I use the mechanical lever. I love the mechanical lever, the way it works, but you can press the button. Just make sure you dose properly. There you go. Look at that gorgeous shot. There we go. So we're sitting just about 11 bars, which is perfect for espresso. I'm going to cut it really short there. Now, the one thing that I would love to see there is that timer, because it turns into a digital timer, but it's just a little bit quick to disappear, so I don't actually know how long I've extracted my coffee for, and that could just be a firmware update. Now it's actually telling me I've run out of water, or I'm low on water, so that's good. Hopefully I have enough to get my milk out of it. Well, actually the water is fantastic. It's easy to fill up. I do love how easy it is to fill the water container up. Now I just need to put in a bit of water so I can get some steam out. That is so easy. Now we're ready. Okay, let's see. We've got steam. Perfect. So as I said before, the steam is a little bit on the light side of the intensity. The setting 3 is probably low intensity, but the upside is you're going to just get such beautiful milk out of it. And look, you can just sit it on the side, be hands-free, self-stretching. So don't want to make it fall off, but that's really handy if you're just doing a big jug of milk and you want to go do some other things. You can just set it there on the edge and let it steam itself. All right, there you go, we're done. So it's not super long. Now, thought for this, I'll do a little challenge for myself. Let's see what I end up with. Tulip. Well, that's very easy. Maybe I'll do a winged tulip. Phoenix. There we go. That's a good one. Challenge myself. Okay. Beautiful milk. There we go. Not terrible. There we go. How's that, guys? Is that a good enough Phoenix? Find out. Now, never complete without tasting it, that's for sure. Gorgeous. Well, there you have it. Now we get to the pointy end of things, which is the price. So in Europe, so far, it's been released at 1,400 euros. So I expect that to be around 2,000 US, maybe 1,600 US. And probably in Australia, I think it's going to be around that $3,000. So it's not cheap. But if you're a Smeg fan and you've already bought Smeg appliances, you know they are not a cheap machine manufacturing company. So you aren't expecting this to be your Breville's or your DeLonghi's. It's nothing at that level. What you're investing in is a piece of equipment that is beautiful as it is reliable. And that's what they've delivered here. And it's testament to the interview that I did with Pavoni when Smeg acquired them a few years ago. This is an ancient Italian brand that's been around almost 100 years. And they promised that they were going to not dilute the brand and churn out cheap appliances, that they were going to actually use Smeg's ability and Pavoni's to blend them to create better machines at Pavoni and better machines at Smeg. And this is what they've done. And I'm excited to see where this brand is going with this range. This is just the first in a many series, which I think we'll see pumped out from Smeg in the coming years. Smeg have learnt from Pavoni and invested in their own manufacturing process. And this is a serious machine that deserves a seat at the table now. I told you I'd give my overall thoughts as to whether this is worth it, and I think it is. Yes, it's a little bit on the pricey side. However, what you get is a super beautiful machine, one of the most beautiful machines in a tight little footprint, and solid equipment. So you're going to be able to make an excellent espresso straight out of the gate, even if you're a newbie to coffee. If you're more serious in coffee, you're still going to be able to play around with those advanced features and get a lot out of it. But for Smeg's first espresso machine, I really think they've done an excellent job. I am actually really impressed with this. And I don't normally say that about appliance machines. They haven't produced an espresso machine that I've really rated before this, but this, I have to give the thumbs up. Anyway, I hope you like these videos. I'm Ride, your coffee coach. Leave your comments in the section below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. And as always, enjoy your Smeg and Brew.